we have been learning different aspects of photography and photojournalism. To be a photojournalist, we have to decide what is it that we want to do. We have to select a story, a picture, an event, an incident. It could be a news story. It can be something that interests our readers or us. It could be something of human interest, a feature, and it could be a long-term project that we are invested in. Now, we're going to find out and know more about the life of a working photojournalist. Today, we're going to discuss various aspects and share with you insights that will help you in your journey to become a photojournalist. What does it take to become a photojournalist? Let's find out from Mr. Desikan Krishnan.
The first thing is that you have to understand it's not a 9 to 5 job. News might break out any time during the day. It could be 10 o'clock in the morning, or it could be 11:30 in the night, or 2:30 a.m. But you should be prepared to go there and cover it. You got to be prepared to be on call. Please notice the word. You got to be prepared to be on call and not on duty. You got to be prepared to be on call 24/7, because at any time you might get a call from your office, or you might be watching your television. Some news may be breaking out in your region, which you will have to rush out to cover. In fact, the joke is that the photojournalist goes to bed with his mobile phone and his camera by his pillow. Now, let's look at a few situations in which a photojournalist gets himself into. A photojournalist should also be able to gather information. The information could be from an IT professional, a doctor, an MLA, or a minister, or a cobbler, anybody for that matter, or if you are covering a temple, the priest in the temple. Here, the priest is explaining to me about a sculpture in a temple. A villager sat down with him to get details about his village, about people working there, what do they do for a living, and other such interesting information that would be very, very interesting for a reader staying outside to get. This was again at the temple. Nowadays, you don't have to take it down. Even your mobile phone, you could record information. Electronics has made life easy. So, I am recording over here whatever information the priest tells me about the temple. It is not required that I have whatever he says is true. There is always this thing where you have to cross check. You have to cross check on any information given by anybody, especially historical information.
We have seen here with Sir's illustration of the photographs that how he has made an effort to reach out to his sources and to speak with them, to talk to them, to develop a rapport with them and to find out their story. Because as a photojournalist, you are not only taking a photograph, you are finding out the story, and your sources are very important. Additionally, as we can see here, you may also have to go and on a particular day or a situation, a site, clean up the area, make it ready, dust off the cobwebs or anything else that may be required, and all work has dignity and all work is required. It is not only the lens and the camera that are our tools, but even a broom would be our tool.
Exactly. As Radhika said, this was paintings on the ceiling of a temple which were full of cobwebs, and we couldn't shoot it. We had to photograph the painting, we got to document the painting, but we couldn't shoot it just as it was. So, we picked up a broom and started cleaning it. There is nothing wrong in using a broom for your work. It's after all your photograph which you are either trying to publish in a newspaper or trying to sell. So, if it is dirty, if it is not appealing, nobody is going to buy your pictures. So, you should be prepared to do a lot of sweeping, mopping, cleaning, whatever it is, dusting, whatever it is, to make your picture look attractive. Exteriors of a temple, not cleaned for years, or not clean. I wouldn't say not clean for years, but not up to photographable standards. So we use a ladder, climb up, do the cleaning before we could photograph it.
Also, as a photojournalist or as a photographer, when we step out and try to tell stories to the world through our photographs, we have to decide that where would we be? And when we say that where would we be means, which is the position we may take which gives a certain angle of view. And through the frame, be it a top angle view or a low angle view or an eye level view, we frame the world through the way we see it. So, are we open to exploring the different vantage points that we may access and try and get memorable or interesting frames? I'm sure Sir can add more to this.
This was from top of a temple Gobram. The Gobram was around 250 feet. So we had to climb up the Gobram to get an aerial view of the temple. Of course, you got to take whatever safety precautions you can. In this case, it was a pillar which I put my arm around to keep myself steady, keep myself from falling, and shot the picture. There's a lot of climbing, crawling, nailing, rolling, and all that a photojournalist will encounter in getting the proper angle. Again, your clothes which you wear are very, very important. They have to be absolutely comfortable, clothes and footwear. I'm not saying that you shouldn't wear tight. If you're comfortable wearing tight jeans, well, go ahead. But you should be able to move, you should be able to do the jumping, crawling, kneeling, whatever in the clothes which you wear. Comfortable clothes, and also you should not be wearing any loud colored, bright colored clothes to attract attention to yourself. You should be able to mingle in the crowd, whatever crowd. You should be able to mingle in the crowd so that the attention is not on you. You could quietly go and do your work.
Yes, that's a very important point that Sir has made about mingling with the crowd. We don't want to be the attention. The photographer or the photojournalist doesn't want to be the attention or get people to notice us. We would somehow like to be in the crowd and still get the photographs that we can, and therefore discreet clothing, clothing that blends with the environment and yet supports our working so that we are comfortable and we can do our work in an effortless manner is very important. About the angles, as Sir had just said, we should be willing to take any angle and we should not feel shy or awkward that, oh, somebody is watching me and I cannot go down on my knees or I cannot lie down on the floor or the ground, because if that angle, if that position helps us to get a certain view which is going to make for an interesting composition, we must be prepared to take that position.
Fairs and crowded places, definitely you got to shoot and as fast as possible so that you don't disturb the shopkeeper, you don't prevent customers from coming into the shop, because if you're going to linger around there, the shopkeeper is going to ask you to move. So you got to be fast. For that, you got to have all your basics, whatever you learn, the basics, that comes into play. That is why learning the basics is very, very important, because you get only a split second to choose your angle, to choose your exposure, to shoot your lens. You can't go there, think about what you have to do. You have to think literally on your toes. Another incident, earlier one you saw for a better angle was sitting down, now he's up for a top angle view. All these decisions are made in a split second. Get friendly with the shopkeeper so that he himself volunteers to display his goods. It can be a ladder or it can be stairs stacked for you to get up to get that perfect view. It could be a parapet wall, it could be anything, but if you want the height, you have to use what is available.
I think what's important to learn here is our ability and our capacity to be flexible, to be creative, to have presence of mind, and to be able to think on our feet in the present moment, here and now, on how we can improvise and how we can find ways to do what we want to do. As Sir just said, it doesn't matter how we access the photograph, but we must look around and see what properties or what objects can help us to get that angle of view.
There you are, on top of the gate, I would say, for that perfect view. This was, as I told you, you got to lie on the ground, roll on the ground, kneel on the ground, do whatever. Here, the paintings were on the ceiling. The entire ceiling was full of paintings. So what I did was, I had a piece of cloth or bed sheet, lay on my back, and after every photograph, my assistants, all the volunteers who came with me, will drag the sheet to the next level, so that I need not have to get up, lie back, get up, lie back throughout the thing. So I just lay on my back on that sheet of rug, and they pulled me all over. And that's how I got the paintings which were on the ceiling. Middle of the road, late in the evening, some lighting in a building where people who came with me for the documentation work, they're there on the road, literally in the middle of the road, trying to get that perfect angle.
In this video, we have seen what a photojournalist must do when she or he is out on the field on an assignment or a project. In the next video, we are going to continue to see about the various skills and techniques that we need to know and have in our work as photojournalists.